What's going on, guys? This is episode 7 of the Weekly Take podcast. So it started off this is going to be a real good show today. I really think there's a lot of good energy going. We're going to be talking about NBA, last week's recap for the NFL, this week's picks for the NFL, and Weekly Take's own cheers to that. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to be like, thank goodness that happened. Like as fans, as sports fans, it's just something I want to get going today in the podcast as we get going. So we're brought to you by the Weekly Take drink of the week. So let's just put that out there for everyone to see. All right, to start it off, let's actually go and look at the Mavericks at Hawks game. And the Hawks ended up winning this game. Dennis Smith ended up having 16 points. Kent Bazemore ended up having for Atlanta 32 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Before I talk about the Mavs, let's talk about the Hawks. The Hawks haven't really been somebody in a long time. The last time I think the Hawks were relevant is when Korver was on the team, and they were trying to represent the whole Spurs Eastern mentality with all these people. And as I said in Game of Zones, they try to say we're the Spurs of the East. It's just I didn't really have a tough time believing in them then. I don't have a tough time believing in them now. Trayvon Young's a good player. I think he's a good person for their team. Can he lead them? He's had a pretty historic start, but I don't know. They ended up winning this 111-104. The Mavericks, Dennis Smith is like their guy. Their new rookie, Doncic, I think is how you say his name. He didn't look too promising. The Hawks win this one at home. They just basically had a good second half, and it was just too much for the Hawks. Looking at the Cavs-Nets game, the Nets were in Cleveland. The Cleveland Cavaliers are still 0-4, and this was yesterday, October 24th. Right now I'm recording this as of 7:14 p.m., a little late on the Weekly Take podcast there. The Cavs just don't look good. They had the team. Maybe it's the coaching. Maybe Tyronn Lue isn't really that good of a coach. I just really think that the Nets just kind of outplayed them. Joe Harris played a good game. Kevin Love is the only guy in Cleveland, and when you know they have a guy that's pretty one-dimensional like Kevin Love, you put 2 guys in him on the box, what's he going to do? There isn't really much Kevin Love can really do. He's not like LeBron who can really create his own shot. He can, but it's going to be a lot more higher degree of difficulty for Kevin Love to do that. So the Nets win this one 102-86 in Cleveland with Joe Harris leading their points, 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. That's pretty good for them. I'm glad the Nets are 2-2. Cavs 0-4. Who knows? They're missing LeBron, man. Knicks at Heat. The Knicks are 1-4. The Heat 2-2. The Heat ended up winning this one in the game in Miami. Hassan Whiteside had a really good game. If Hassan Whiteside played this way every game, they wouldn't be downing him as much. And I just think it's just so one-dimensional in Miami. I know they have D Wade. Yes, D Wade is still a name to be said when you talk about the Miami Heat. I really don't understand why. He's just still there. They love him over there. But just Whiteside looked really good this game. He had 22 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 blocks. That's fantastic as a center. They ended up beating the Knicks 110-87. Looking into the Toronto Raptors game, this game was wow. Rant alert here. If the Spurs and the whole NBA knew this is what Kawhi Leonard would be coming out of the trade, I think they could have got DeRozan and maybe Kyle Lowry with them too. Kawhi Leonard is looking fantastic. Toronto loves him. He loves it in Toronto from what I could see. He's balling his life out right now. He's got 35 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists on that night against the Raptors. Or against the Timberwolves, actually. Sorry, not the Raptors. Jimmy Butler had 23 points. He was the next top scorer. But he could not guard Kawhi. And not a lot of people can. But Jimmy Butler is one of the top defensive shooting guards in the league. I know Kawhi's a small forward mix, but still, you got to limit him. But you can't stop him, a player like him. Timberwolves look all right. The Raptors just look like the best team in the East right now. I know a lot of people would argue and be like, oh, well, the Celtics and, well, what about the Sixers and what about the Wizards? It's not. No, it's the Raptors this year. It's the Raptors and Celtics show, I think. But the Celtics are not better than the Raptors right now. Danny Green's looking fantastic. Kyle Lowry's looking fantastic. Their coaching's looking their bench is looking awesome. I'm saying it right now as of October 25th. They are looking fantastic, and I love the Raptors this year with Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green. That's just amazing. Looking at the Kemba, I almost just said the Charlotte Kemba Walkers. Basically, that's what they are. You ask me, that team is all Kemba Walker related. Um, the Bulls ended up winning this game, 112 to 110. Zach LaVine had 32 points. I didn't think Zach LaVine could score 32 points. I'm kind of a Zach LaVine, not hater, but kind of a disliker. I liked it when he went to Chicago. I didn't really like him in Minnesota, but I think he's going to do good in Chicago. Kemba Walker ended up having 23 points. Just to talk about the Hornets, they just don't really have that many players. I just feel bad for them because, they have Jordan as their ambassador, their owner. And it's just like he's too much. He's almost like a Jerry Jones of this team. Great player, phenomenal player, left a legacy on everything, but he's not really that good of an owner. I'll give him that. And he needs to either let go of Kemba Walker or move on and just try to get him some help. Moving into the Jazz at Rockets, man, the Jazz they were stomping on these guys in the first half. Donovan Mitchell ended up with 38 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and he was tearing up these Rockets. These Rockets couldn't really D up. I don't think they could stop Donovan Mitchell, but man, you gotta try something. If you put 15 points up in the second quarter, you're gonna lose in the NBA. I think I scored more with my team, not me personally. Like our team in the half at the YMCA probably scores more than 15 points in the second quarter. That just goes to show the Jazz have really lock-up defense. I really like Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. That, too, alone is just enough to win you some games. The Jazz win this one in Houston, 189. This next game is Pacers at Spurs. These Pacers go into San Antonio and just put on work. Victor Oladipo looked fantastic. Their bench looked fantastic. LaMarcus Aldridge, Rudy Gay, and DeMar DeRozan are bigger players. They need a guard. They're really missing DeJounte Murray right there. Patty Mills couldn't really get anything going. Derek White he's hurt. It's just, the Spurs are missing a point guard right now, and it just really goes to show that you really do need that point guard to facilitate the team. The Spurs ended up losing this game 96 to 116, and I just really think the Pacers are something to be worried about this year in the East. A lot of people like to sleep on them because a lot of people think, oh, Boston, oh, Raptors, oh, Sixers. I think people should be saying Pacers in that situation. Moving into the 76ers, this is also another team that people sleep on is the Bucks. I know they're like, oh, it's all pretty one-dimensional. All you got to do is stop 34. It's not like that. That team is showing pretty good surrounding help for Giannis this year. The Sixers ended up losing this 108 to 123 in Milwaukee. Pretty loud crowd over there. It's just Joel Embiid put on a show, but he didn't really have any help. Markelle Fultz isn't really doing that good. Ben Simmons wasn't even doing that good. Joel Embiid needed some help. But the Bucks look pretty promising this game. I didn't watch this game really. I'm more looking at the stats for this type of game. It was not on around me, but it just looks like the Bucks are a pretty tough team, man. They're 4-0, 3-0 at home. What more could you ask for? Moving into the Lakers at Suns, this is a game that everyone was watching. Lance Stevenson had 23 points. Ayton had 22 in the Suns. The Suns team is still young. I don't think they can beat LeBron quite yet. Even he was just going off. He was facilitating the whole court, and that's what he needed. Man, these Lakers are the bad boy Lakers this year, it looks like to me. They just do not look like a pushover Laker. They look like there's going to be a lot of fights. There's going to be a lot of breakouts. There's going to be a lot of drama. It's just going to be the drama LA show. It's going to be like keeping up with the Lakers. But, man, hold on. Let's open this can of WeeklyTake juice and just say, cheers to that. Cheers to these new Lakers and LeBron just becoming a new team. I like to see that the Lakers are something new this year. If the Lakers can hold on to this, I think the NBA is going to be a little more entertaining this year. Moving into the Grizzlies at Kings, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't watch this game, but you know what I am excited about? Mike Conley is back for the Grizzlies, and that is huge. He's a very good player, one of my favorite point guards in the league to watch. He's just fantastic. He tears up my San Antonio Spurs every time he plays them. He's just fantastic. He's just a fantastic player, you ask me. The Kings, they're still a little behind. They don't really have anyone really there yet. They got Vince Carter. Actually, no, they don't have Vince Carter. Vince Carter is on the Hawks now. The Kings don't have anyone. The Kings are kind of the bottom feeders in the NBA. I feel bad for them, too, because they're in the West, so they just get beat up on by all these West teams. Moving into the Wizards Kings win this game 97-92 against the Grizzlies. Moving into the Wizards at Warriors. Warriors are 4-1. Wizards 1-3. Tough start. Warriors are undefeated at home. Curry is just an animal. 51 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. This guy had 38 in the first 3 quarters. They scored 46 points in the first quarter. The Warriors, I don't know if there's really much I don't even need this sheet. I could just tell you that the Warriors are going to go back deep into the finals, deep into the Western playoffs, I could say for sure. And, Steph Curry, when he's locking up like that, he's putting points up like that. Klay Thompson's getting open. Kevin Durant didn't even want to finish the game. How good they were doing. Kevin Durant literally said, I'm done. Sub me out. These guys are not good. He didn't see the last part, but he's just like, sub me out, man. These Wizards are not worth our time. If the Wizards aren't worth our time, not a lot of teams are better than the Wizards. So let's just say there's only like 5 teams that could really compete with these Warriors this year. I would say Rockets, Raptors. I don't know about Lakers. I could say Thunder. Actually, there's some teams that I think could give them a run. Denver's pretty good this year. So to move on to the next part of the show, I just want to talk about the Week 7 NFL recap, just of like kind of what happened this week, or last week, I mean. So to start us off, last Thursday, we had Denver at Arizona winning 45-10. That's a pretty commanding win. Denver, I feel like, has been kind of slept on this year. Denver isn't like the most terrible team in the league, but they're definitely not the most like best team in the league, let's say. If I could say anything about Denver, I could say their defense is really good. Their offense showed light. I mean, they scored 45 points, so the Denver Broncos aren't terrible. But, I mean, the Arizona Cardinals are on the bottom of my power rankings. I just don't know how I feel about this game moving forward. Then moving into the Tennessee Tennessee Titans at Chargers, but technically it was in London, so none of them were really home. The Chargers ended up winning this game by 1 point. It just was a close game. I look at it and I'm just like, damn, the Chargers almost lost to the Titans. The only 2 losses the Chargers have are against the Chiefs and Rams. So that kind of goes to show that the Rams are legit this year. The Rams are a good team. Oh, duh. The Rams are a good team, duh. The Chargers are a good team. I got mixed up because they're in LA. The Chargers should be undefeated if they didn't have to play those 2 powerhouse of a teams. Come AFC playoffs, that team could go pretty far if they play with no injuries, nothing bad happens to them. That team's going to be good. Phillip Rivers is very veteran quarterback. Their defense is very young and athletic. They got Melvin Gordon. They got great receivers. That team is built good. Their coaching is good. It's just, I really like the Chargers this year. Moving into the New England game at Chicago, New England ended up winning this game 38-31. I just think New England's back on that grind where they're just, it's New England again. We all hate at the beginning, but they're gonna be good at the end, and that's what's kind of happening. New England does this stuff. They do this thing where they just kind of ease into the year. We're all like, oh my God, this is the year. This is the year that New England's going to be bad. Everyone start pumped up. The AFC's open up. And then they go on an 8-game winning streak. That's what the New England Patriots do to the football fans. It's happened to me for the past 10 years. You get super excited. Oh, wait, we have our chance. And we got to go in the Foxborough and come playoff time. And then everyone shrinks. So, New England ended up winning this game. It was a good game. Chicago just couldn't really do much at home. They had chances to win it, but they just couldn't capitalize on it. Moving into the Buffalo at Indy game, Buffalo had 5 points, so they had a safety. So that's a highlight. That's a moral victory for the Buffalo Bills. Indianapolis looked good. Their offense was going. Andrew Luck was having a heyday. Marlon Mack was doing super good too. Their defense looked good against Buffalo, against the Bills. I understand that. But these Colts look pretty good this game. They ended up winning this game at home in front of their home crowd, 37-5. Moving into Detroit at Miami, this was one of those games that could go either way. I remember picking Miami, but there was a dumb reason why I didn't pick Detroit, and it's haunting me because Kerryon Johnson is a thing. That rushing attack is a thing, and they just did exactly what I was saying they were going to do, and they ran it on them, and it looked like it worked. 32-21, they beat them in Miami. Brock Osweiler looked pathetic. He's just kind of stinking up their vibe there. But they got to stick with him. They're playing actually right now on Thursday night. They just, he's just not that good. I don't like Brock Osweiler. But he's a good guy. I'm sure he's a good guy. As a football player, I don't like him. Moving into the Jets-Minnesota game. Minnesota goes into the New York Jets and beats them. This was one of those picks last week. I was really hoping the Jets would do something so I would look smart. But it kind of went the other way. Minnesota looked like a good team again. They're kind of a hard team to pick. Minnesota is one of those teams where you're like, oh, okay, are they going to be the Vikings we saw when they beat the Saints in the playoffs last year, or are they going to be the ones that lost to the Bills earlier this year? It's a new year, it's a new team every week. But the Vikings ended up winning this one 37-17, win by 20 in New York and MetLife. Moving into the Carolina-Philly game, this was a good game. Philly almost was there. They just couldn't do it. It's just, I was pretty bummed out. The Phillies are defending champs. They should be winning these games. Carolina's a tough team. They're coming off a bye. They wanted to win this game. I think Carolina's a slept-on team. Cam Newton's still great. He makes bad receivers good. I know a lot of them don't like to catch the ball, but when they do, it pays off. They don't really have a rushing attack, but their defense is still pretty good in Carolina. Carolina ends up winning this game 21-17 in Philly. Moving into the Cleveland-Tampa Bay game, Cleveland had chances to win this. They're cursed. I swear to God, that team is cursed. The Buccaneers won by 3 in front of their home crowd. Jameis Winston got stuff going. Mike Evans got stuff going. The running game got stuff going. Tampa Bay looked like a legit team this week. Cleveland's defense is good. I picked Cleveland because I really like their defense, and I should have went with the home team. The home crowd really energizes Tampa Bay, I guess. They won this game by 3 points in front of the home crowd. Houston at Jacksonville. And this is one of those weekly take cheers to that moment. Let's take a good swig on this one. Let's think about that. So we have the Jacksonville Jaguars who went deep into the playoffs last year. And then I guess not too deep. They lost to the Steelers. But looking at this, you think this would be Jags win this game. They're on a losing streak, and they want to recuperate back. Let's beat on these Texans, AFC South divisional matchup, and we'll just whoop on them, get our momentum back. And that did not happen. People in the Jags locker room are pissed off. This Jags locker room is not a happy group of folk right now. This team was supposed to be going far. Blake Bortles ended up doing a shit job of being a quarterback last week. They benched his ass. So it goes to show that this Houston Texans team is pretty legit when they went. They're 4-2. They're a silent 4-2 team. Like in the beginning of the year, I was like, man, Houston, oh man, they're weak. Man, they're not good. Deshaun Watson's still on the team. J.J. Watt's still on the team. Jadeveon Clowney's still on the team. DeAndre Hopkins is still on the team. Lamar Miller's still on the team. They have a good team, but they got to get their heads straight, and I think their heads are getting more straight throughout the year, and I think the Houston Texans are going to be good. Now, weeks into the league, I think the Texans are going to win probably. I think they could not win out, but I think they're going to win most of their games, and they could push for playoffs. They could take that division. If Jacksonville plays like this, Houston very well could take the division. Moving into the New Orleans at Baltimore game, New Orleans wins this game by 1 point and 24-23 in Baltimore. Man, as a Ravens fan, I looked at this game more as a moral victory. It showed that the Ravens have a decent offense that could put up points in a final drive if needed. They were defending against Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, Mark Ingram, Drew Brees, and their backup quarterback came in and did something like that was really cool to see that they were getting their secondary quarterback backup quarterback back in and getting some plays. That was really cool. Like what both these teams kind of like to use both their backup QBs, and I really think that's really cool. But the elephant in the room, Justin Tucker missing the PAT. He's 222 for 223 on PATs, and he chose the worst time to miss a PAT. That's all right. He's won the Baltimore Ravens countless of games, although it was a bummer to lose that game. But I think the Saints are a legit team this year. I think they're the third best team in the league. They showed that they could put on points against the number one defense in the league. So here's to the Saints, man. That was a good game. So looking at the Los Angeles Rams and the San Francisco Niners game, I have a hard time talking about this game because it was just like we knew this was going to happen. I just can't wait for the Rams to play the Chiefs. That's going to be the true test. I still think they're going to fucking do fantastic, but I just really think that the 49ers aren't that good this year. They're missing a lot of players. This is an NFC West matchup, and I just really think that Los Angeles is the real deal this year. They're going to go far. They're probably going to go to the Super Bowl this year. That team is fantastic. I talk about this week by week. That team's offense is phenomenal. Their defense is phenomenal. So with that being said, the Rams win this one 39-10, win by 29 in San Francisco. Just totally drained the people out of Santa Clara. Moving into the Cincinnati game against the Chiefs, I picked the Chiefs to win this game just because I didn't think the Bengals would really fight back. This Chiefs offense is phenomenal. Cincinnati, I was hoping. I was not hoping. But I just thought it was going to be a better game. Sunday night. But, the Chiefs' offense looked fantastic. Mahomes was making plays all over the field. Hill was making plays all over the field. I just really like Kansas City this year. Not personally, I don't like them, but they're just fantastic. How can you not talk about this team right now? Their offense is just going off. Kareem Hunt is being an animal. I just think it's really awesome that Chiefs are finally really good, and they're a new identity. It's not like the Chiefs are the old Chiefs with Andy Reid, and they got the good defense and Alex Smith. I like this new offense, where they're offense first. It's really fun to watch on TV. And then there's people that say, well, the only reason it's fun to watch this year, Dom, is because all these penalties. And I said that last week, but it's just you got to respect where it's earned. The game changes every year, so just give the Chiefs the respect they deserve. Let's look at this was not the last game. I totally mixed up, but the Dallas Cowboys at the Washington Redskins. This was the Sunday night game. Or no, it's one of the afternoon games, not the Sunday night game. But I totally skipped over it. Dallas Cowboys ended up losing this one by 3 in Washington. Washington Redskins are pretty good. That division's up for grabs, just like the AFC North is up for grabs. Anyone can win this division, but Washington's looking like the most complete team. AP is looking pretty good. Alex Smith looking pretty good. The receiving, I bet you the people that are listening to this probably couldn't name 3 Redskins receivers. And if you can, put it in the comments. I would love to see if you could do that right off the top of your brain. I would respect you, because I cannot. That defense looking good. I really like the Redskins this year. When it's cool to see the Redskins look good, because they're not really that good of a team. They're not really like that team that's like, oh, we play the Redskins. It's more like, okay, we play the Redskins and we can't sleep on them. They're that kind of team. They're not the best. They're not the worst. So it's kind of cool to see that they're on the upper tier of the NFC East. Moving into the Monday night game, Giants at Atlanta. Giants, I just cannot catch a break. I feel so bad for these Giants. This is the wrong year to pick a year to tank. They just lost Snacks to Detroit, and that's going to be a big pickup for against Seattle this week. I just really think the Giants are just losing games they shouldn't be losing. And Atlanta done winning this by 3. Atlanta's just sloppy this year. And Atlanta is the sloppiest team in that division by far. I would choose Tampa Bay over them. I just do not like Matt Ryan. I just do not like the offense. They just need to get through their head that they're not the Super Bowl Atlanta. They're trying to hang on to that identity, but it's just that's not them anymore. They need to figure out something else, because if that's the case, I'm not going to watch them anymore. Atlanta's just one of those frustrating teams for me. They're like the Raiders. I just cannot watch them. Obviously when they're in the Super Bowl, it's fantastic to watch them, but now I'm looking at it like, God damn, fuck that. I'm not watching Atlanta this week. Or me and my grandpa do picks too. We do weekly picks every week, like I'm doing. We talk about every pick, and we have a hard time picking Atlanta. We have a hard time picking Tennessee, the Giants. Teams like that are just really hard to pick for us. Moving into this week's picks, actually talking about picks, we got 4 teams on bye. We got the Falcons, Cowboys, Chargers, and Titans. So thank God we got the Falcons on bye this week, so we don't got to worry about picking them. Okay, so Thursday night is currently going, and the Dolphins are... No, actually, the Texans are waiting at the moment. It's just, this game, I'm going to pick the Texans. I don't really remember the score, but they're home. I like Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney. I really like that team, so I think Houston wins this game tonight, although I think Miami might be winning. I do not know who's winning. But let's just not count this one, because I'm doing this pick after the week, so this pick does not really matter. But just let me tell you why I think Houston would win. I just like the offense, and I just like their defense against Brock Osweiler. So that's why that alone is just going to make me pick Houston. Moving into the Philly at Jaguars game, this is another London game. God damn. London is just taking all of our good games. The Jags were home. I guess they couldn't really beat Houston. But looking at this, I got the Philly Eagles. The defending champs are going to get their offense going. Carson Wentz is going to find some players. Alshon Jeffrey is going to make some plays. Their running back committee is going to do. That defense is going to do good against whoever the Jags play at quarterback this week. The Eagles are going to eat up on them. So I'm going Eagles. I say the Eagles win this game 28-10. Yeah, I don't think the Jags score many points this week. Moving into the Broncos at Chiefs, I got to go Chiefs. I shouldn't even have to say anything. The Chiefs are lighting stuff up. This is an AFC West divisional matchup. That's all I could say. Chiefs win this game probably 40-20. So that's all I got to say for that one. Browns at Steelers. I got to go Steelers. They just have their Browns number. It's probably going to be like a 9-6 game. It always is. Or like a 13-6 game. I just really like the Steelers. Unfortunately, as much as it burns me to say that, their offense is looking good. Their defense is looking good. The Steelers are just really a good team when they're firing off all cylinders. And they don't even have Le'Veon Bell. If they had Le'Veon Bell, this team would be pretty scary, but they don't. James Conner is a very good backup, but Le'Veon Bell is obviously better. Okay, for the upset of the week, I'm going Washington at Redskins, and this is a team that I think is going to win this week. I think the Giants are going to get their second win of the season in New York, in MetLife, against these Washington Redskins. And before you turn this off, or before you pause it, before you go to the bathroom, let me tell you why. The Giants are due for a win. They're at home. They're tired of this criticism. They're tired of saying, oh, are the Giants tanking? They're going to get a win this week, and I think it's going to be in New York, and I think it's going to be an ugly win. It could very well be 23-20. And it's going to be like a late stop. It's not even going to be up to a field goal. They're not going to score the last field goal. They're just going to be up, and they're going to get like a stop, or they're going to fumble it, and they're going to get it, and they're going to knee it. That's how the Giants are going to win this week. So I say the Giants win. The upset thing of the week, the upset pick of the week. I'm going Giants win this game 23-20 in New York against the Washington Redskins. And cheers to that, Dom, because you know what? It takes a lot of guts to go against the Redskins when they're on a hot streak this week. I just really think it's going to be a good win for these Giants this week. So go Giants. I'm going blue this week. So we're still not done with picks, though. So let's go into the Seahawks at Lions. I got to go Seahawks. I think the Seahawks run game is going to run over these guys. I think their running game is better than the Detroit Lions. I don't like their defense. I don't like Matt Stafford. I don't really like Marvin Jones as a super elite receiver. I think their defense gets something going and stops them. After you stop those two, it's pretty one-dimensional. Golden Tate's going to probably have a game against Seattle because, that was his last team. But I think he's over that, so he's not going to have like the revenge-type game. I just think the Seahawks win this game in Detroit. They're coming off bye this week. That's always tough. They were well-rested. I just think the Seahawks win this game in Detroit. So I'm going to go Seahawks win this game 28-24. Moving into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Cincinnati Bengals, I got to go Bengals. I shouldn't really have to say much more. Bengals are upset. They lost two straight. I just really think that the Bengals are a better team than the Bucs this year. They're one's in the AFC, one in the NFC. They don't meet each other that often, but I just think that the Cincinnati's type of ball game is way different than the Buccaneers, and I like theirs taking over. Their run-first type team in Cincinnati. They're going to pound it right down their throat. I don't think Tampa Bay is used to that. Moving into the Jets at Bears, I got to go Bears. The Jets aren't looking very good this year. They have a good D-line. I really like Sam Darnold and their offense, but I just think the Bears are like, fuck, man, we lost last week against New England at home, so we got to win this one against these fucking Jets. We can't let another AFC East team come in here and beat us. We got to whoop on these guys, so I think they have that mentality. They don't let these guys come in here and beat them. You got to protect your home. I think the Bears do it very well. Moving into the Ravens at Panthers, I got to go Ravens. That defense is looking fantastic. If Drew Brees was only going to 24, I don't know if Cam Newton and company, because I don't really know who else they have. They have Devin Funchess. They don't have Michael Thomas out there for damn sure. So I think that defense is alone going to stop them. I don't think the Panthers defense can stop John Brown. I don't think they can stop Alex Collins. Joe Flacco's, fifth in passing this year. If that doesn't speak elite, I don't know what does. Moving into the Colts. Actually, before moving to the Colts game, I'm going to give you a score prediction. I'm going Ravens scored 27, so I don't know how they're going to get to 27, but then it's going to be 27-16. And they get like a punt return, and it's going to be a special teams game. It's going to be a special teams game. Write that down right now because it's going to happen. Moving into the Colts at Raiders, I got to go Colts. I do not like picking the Raiders ever. I just think the Colts are going to be a better team. Andrew Luck's going to throw over that team. The Raiders actually just got rid of Amari Cooper. That's a huge trade. A lot of people are on the Gruden bandwagon now. So let's just talk about how now the Cowboys have a good player. They're on bye this week, but I just think Amari Cooper is going to be a pretty good signing in Dallas. A lot of people don't think so. He's not the best receiver in the game, but I think he could turn around. Playing in Dallas is a lot different than playing in Oakland. So moving back into the game, I just think the Colts offense is just going to throw over this Raiders defense. I think the Raiders are in a total rebuild mode right now, so I'm going Colts this game. Colts win this game. I'm going to go 18-16. Really ugly, weird score. 49ers at Cardinals. I'm going to go 49ers because I don't like the Cardinals. Josh Rosen's good. David Johnson's good. Larry's good. I love Larry. Defense, Pat Pete doesn't even really want to be there. He's on the trade block now. He's not going to play his best ball. He's probably going to make sure he doesn't get injured kind of thing. I just think the 49ers win this game. I like the 49ers. Even without their playmakers, I still think they're a good team. They're going to get something going against the Cardinals, win this NFC West matchup, not be the worst. They're battling to not be worse than the NFC West right now, really. Looking at the Packers at Rams. As much as it pains me to say this, I'm going Rams. I love Aaron Rodgers, and I think they're a fantastic team, but I just do not think they're enough to beat these Rams. Let me tell you why I could be wrong. Let me tell you why I could be wrong. Aaron Rodgers loves to win games like this. He would love to go in LA. He's from Cal. He's going back into this college town. Aaron Rodgers, I think, will have a good game, and it could be a close one, but I don't think they're going to win. But they very well could be because number 12, Aaron Rodgers, can make anything happen. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league. Don't at me at all. He's the best quarterback in the league right now. Moving into the Rams win this game ugly. It's going to be 34-32. Barely. If they were in Lambeau, I'd pick Green Bay. I would pick Green Bay if they were home. But they don't got that magical Lambeau field. They don't got magical Lambeau this week. So I'm going 34-32 Rams this week. Moving into the Saints at Vikings, I got to go with Saints. Saints look fantastic playing against the Ravens defense. I don't think the Minnesota Vikings defense is going to do that good. So I got to go Saints. Drew Brees looking good. Michael Thomas playing fantastic. Alvin Kamara's playing great. They're playing. God, they even have Mark Ingram back there. Their line's giving Drew Brees time. They got the backup quarterback who's coming in making good plays. That's just they're unpredictable. Let's see here. Patriots at Bills. Let's just talk about this one. Saints win that last week 38-20. It's going to be a blowout. Patriots at Bills. I got to go Patriots. I can't pick the Bills. As much as I want to say upset of the week, I don't think it's going to happen. I think the Patriots offense is just too much for the Bills. I'm sorry, Bills, but you guys aren't enough to beat the Patriots. They're on that. You don't want to be in the Patriots' way when they're on the rise like this. So I just say the Patriots win this game 40-13. It's going to be a blowout. It could very well. It's always like a snowy type game. I don't know if it's that type of the time of the year over there, but the Patriots always do something very, very crazy. So moving into the last part of the thing, let's just talk about a couple big headlines that I think were crazy. Let's talk about the CP3 Rondo fight real quick. Before we end the show, I just want to talk about that. Rondo did spit on CP3. And let me, as much as I do dislike CP3, you don't spit on another dude because then you're basically saying they're just like the ground. And that's like, if someone were to spit on me, it's hands. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're The Rock. I don't care if you're Stone Cold. I got to at least punch you for that. It's just, that's ego right there. And then CP3 got a good left hook to the face, though. And let me tell you, that was pretty cool to see. I do not like CP3. Just... CP0, as the legendary Skip Bayless calls him, and I could not agree more. So let's, as we talk about this, let's think about that left hook, and let's just say a cheers to that right there, because we look at CP3. A lot of people hate him. He's a bad teammate. I think he's a bad teammate. I don't like him. He's never really done anything. He's pretty overrated. So I just really think that he deserved it. Moving into just everything I also really want to talk about, I want to talk about that Amari Cooper trade a little more. Amari Cooper just looked sloppy this year, and I don't think he was worth the first round. Because, you look at it, and I know I'm kind of like stalling, but let me just say this real quick. Amari Cooper is like, if I were to put it in NBA terms, basically the Nets gave away their good first round pick for Goran Dragic. He has potential. He's a good player, but he's not the best. So basically what I want to say is that Amari Cooper, yes, very good trade, very good pickup, but was it worth the first? Jerry Jones, if you weren't going to give fucking Earl Thomas a first pick, but you're going to give Amari Cooper the first pick, I think it's time to retire. Jerry Jones, I think it's very good time to retire right now. 2018, moving into 2019, call it good. You got your Hall of Fame jacket. We're good. If you can't give your first round draft pick to the Seattle Seahawks for Earl Thomas, who's a proven free safety, best free safety in the league for a first round. But you'll go and be like, I really think we need Amari Cooper, and he's going to be the difference maker. What? Who? Amari Cooper is the difference maker. You could have signed Dez. You could have kept your first round pick. I just don't really. I do not agree with that first round draft pick. Good trade, but not for the Cowboys' sake, because they gave away a first. If it was a second pick, I wouldn't be complaining. I'd say, wow, they won. But I think the Raiders won. Amari Cooper, I think, is going to love it in Dallas. So, other than that, I think that is all I have for you guys today on the Weekly Take podcast. This is episode 7. It has been great to have you guys on and listen to this show. This show was a little late this week, getting released around 8:30-ish Pacific Standard Time. Thank you guys very much for listening. It means the entire world to me. Have a great one.